Hello, everyone. It's Mr. Kissinger at the Citizenship Academy in Syracuse, New York, and this is 5th grade math, Module 6, Lesson 2. We're going to construct a coordinate system on a plane. So if we look at our first problem here, it says use a set square to draw a line perpendicular to the x-axis through point P. Label the new line as the y-axis. So I'm going to just use a ruler, and it's asking us to draw a line perpendicular to the x-axis through point B, or point P. And I'm going to try to make this as perpendicular as possible here. And this is going to be our y-axis. So there's y. And then we'll do the same thing here on the other one. So we have our x-axis there. So 90-degree angle here between these two lines. And there is our y-axis. Letter B says choose one of the sets of perpendicular lines above and create a coordinate plane. Mark 5 units on each axis and label them as whole numbers. So I'm going to use this one right here. So this point right here where they meet will be 0. And I'll use my ruler so we can make these equally spaced. And we'll need 5 units on each axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the same thing on the x-axis here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to do an 8-inch apart. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I have myself a little coordinate plane up here, and I can find 1, 1 here. I can do 2, 3 right there. Now I can find different points on that coordinate plane. Now, number 2 asks us to name the shape at each location. So we have all these different shapes here on this coordinate plane. As you see, we have our x-axis across the bottom here and our y across the top. And our x-coordinate is 2 and our y-coordinate is 4 for our first set of coordinates there. So I go to my x-axis and I'm going to go 2 across right here. And then I need to go up 4. And it looks like each one of these is a half, so I'm skipping 2 for everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that shape would be a circle. So a circle is at 2, 4. All right, next I need to find 5, 4. So I have 5 on my x-axis. I go up to 4 on my y-axis, and I'm looking at this shape right here. And that one's a diamond, so we're going to call that one a diamond. Next, we have to take our x-coordinate of 1 and our y-coordinate of 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have our triangle at 1, 5. And our last one is 5, 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up 1, and that's going to be our heart. So B and C just asked us some questions about this coordinate plane. B says, which shape is 2 units from the x-axis? So look at our x-axis here, and we look 1, 2 units up, and that would be the star. The star is 2 units above the x-axis on the 2 on our y-axis. So the star is 2 units from the x-axis. C asks us which shape has the same x and y coordinate. So we're looking for something that is the same number to our right as it is going up here on our y-axis. So we have one here at 3, 3. Those coordinates are the same. And it looks like our square is going to be there at 3 and 3. So square has the same x and y coordinates. All right, now let's look at our next page here. Number 3. This looks pretty similar, except this time it's asking us to name the coordinates rather than naming the shape. So we're going to look at our moon, and we need to figure out what our x coordinate is first. How many over is it on the x-axis? 1, 2. Well, 3 is here. It's right in between 2 and 3, so that's going to be 2.5. And then on our y-axis, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be 2.5 and 4. Next, we're going to look for the sun. And our sun is right here. And it's asking us for our coordinates. So we have to go over on our x-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we go up 1, 2, 3. So we have 4 on our x-axis. So our x-coordinate is 4. And our y-coordinate is 3. Next is asking us where the heart is located here. So we have to go over 1 and up 2. So our x-coordinate is 1 and our y-coordinate is 2. Now our cloud is a little bit different here. So on our x-axis, we're not going to count how many we have to go over because we don't have to move over on our x-axis at all. It's at 0 on the x-axis. So our x-coordinate is going to be 0. Our y-coordinate is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5. And then finally our smiley face. Our smiley face is 1, 2, 3, not quite to 4. It's at 3.5. And then on our y-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. So we have 3.5 and 5.5. Letter B says which 2 shapes have the same y coordinate. So we're going to look for 2 that are on the same line here. And it looks like the only 2 that are on the same line are here on number 2. We have a heart and a star. Those are the heart and the star. Plot an x at 2, 3. So 2 is our x coordinate and 3 is our y coordinate. Whenever we see coordinates that are in parentheses like that with a comma between them, our first coordinate will always be our x coordinate and our second coordinate will always be our y coordinate. So I'm going to go over 2 and up 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to mark an x right here. Letter D tells us to plot a square at 3, 2.5. So 3 on our x, 2.5 on our y. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2.5 right here. So our square is going to go right here. And then letter E says to plot a triangle at 6, 3.5. So we have 6 all the way over here. 1, 2, 3.5. And it wants to do a triangle there. So a little triangle there. All right. Then number 4 says Mr. Palmer plans to bury a time capsule 10 yards behind the school. What else should he do to make naming the location of the time capsule more accurate? So he wants to go 10 yards back. So 10 yards. There's 10 yards. And I'm just going to draw a line. So this would be 10 yards. Now, Mr. Palmer's problem is going to be is that time capsule could be buried anywhere along this line if it's 10 yards behind. So they have to do a lot of digging to dig that up if they don't know where it is 10 yards behind the school as far as left to right. So the other thing he could do is measure how many yards over this way, how far it's going to be on our x coordinate across the property of the school. So you could measure how many yards to the right of the playground or to the left of the baseball field. So I guess what we're going to say is he will, or he should, record a location to the left or right of another object or another location. I'm going to put in parentheses an x coordinate. So that's really what he needs. He already has his y coordinate. And he's going to need to determine an x coordinate as well so that he knows where to look to dig up that time capsule. So that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and look forward to seeing you next time.